Bang! What is popping? I am glad to finally be back this week, boys. We've already done one stream, and now we're doing another one. This one is the first of its kind. I've never ever done a stream like this before, and to my knowledge, there is no parlay stream that has ever been done, at least consistently, as an actual show in the MMA betting scene. So once again, boys, we're paving the way, creating new things in the MMA community. Hopefully it does well. So as you know, if you follow me on Twitter, Telegram, all of that good stuff, I announced earlier in the week that I'm going to be doing a new weekly show. And it's going to be on this time every single week, 2 p.m. NZST on a Friday. It's probably Thursday where you're at if you are in anywhere else, basically, other than Australia, New Zealand, some parts of Asia, some parts of Russia. Most people from Canada and America, right? That's where the UFC is the biggest. That's where MMA is the biggest. So it's probably Thursday night for you. And I announced that I'm going to be doing a stream weekly, and we're going to basically be speaking about parlays. It's called Parlay Madness. So welcome to the first episode of Parlay Madness. It's going to be a little bit clunky to start off with. It's not going to be as free-flowing as it will be in the future. I'm going to get some actual graphics set up. I'm going to get some cool stuff set up for the streams going forward. But for today, we're just going to get straight into it and give you the exact thing that you came here for, which is the information. That's the most important part at the end of the day, right? So just a little bit of an explanation of what the stream is before, for those of you who don't know, because I've never done it before, right? So this weekly show is going to be dedicated to getting parlays, banger parlays, high odds parlays that cash for you every single week. Now, it's not easy. It's not super easy to do that, right? Because parlays are inherently a little bit harder to hit. And I know a few people are saying that the video is choppy. So, boys, I'm really pissed off about this. That's why I was a little bit late today. It's nothing to do with my computer, nothing to do with me. It's 100% StreamYard. So I'm probably going to have to be canceling my StreamYard membership and going live on a different thing. But for now, just deal with the lagging video, because the audio is not going to be lagging, which is the most important thing, right? And I'm going to throw some graphics up to make it a little bit easier. So to go back to what I was saying, every single week I'm going to be doing this stream, right? And it's dedicated to giving you banger parlays every single week. It's dedicated to get you to cash parlays, right? I'm very good at cashing parlays, and there's a big misconception out there. I don't want to go on a massive rant to start off, but there is a few things that need addressing before I start my first ever show. And one of those is a massive misconception in the betting community that parlays are not profitable. Let me just tell you now that I have 5 years worth of track data on parlays, third-party track data on parlays. I have 8 years worth of track data, 5 years worth of track data on parlays, and every single year I've been profitable. So are the gamblers going to come out, are the old veteran gamblers going to come out and say, oh no, you've just been running hot for 5 years? They can say that if they want. The sample size is not big enough. You don't do enough parlays per year, even though I do multiple, like, averages out to at least one per card. If the veteran gamblers want to say that I've been running hot for 5 years on parlays, we're going to let them do their thing. We got our own lane here, right? I not even choose to believe, but let's just use those words. I choose to believe no. I haven't been running hot. I just know how to bet parlays, right? 5 years of data is enough for me to say that parlays can be profitable, specifically in MMA, because that's the only place I really make my own analysis, right? I bet on almost every sport these days, but I follow other professional gamblers, just like a lot of you follow me. I do that to other people in other sports, right? But I only really bet parlays from my own analysis in MMA, and I've been very profitable with them. So in this weekly show, what I'm going to do is we're going to go through every single fight on the card, and we're going to find some bigger, mainly plus money plays from that fight. So, for example, first fight of the night is Joshua Van versus Felipe Bunes. We're going to look at the entire prop market. We're going to look at the entire money line market. Me and you together, all of us together. I'm going to get fightodds.io up, which is an online betting market which shows every line for every prop, every straight, every underdog for every fight. I'm going to see if there's any value in the lines, right? if we can find any value in the lines, and I'm going to be looking for higher odds because I want to make sure that the parlays are massive odds. That's what this is about, right? Now, if there's no plus EV legs, if there's no plus EV bets, we ain't going to take them. We're not going to make parlays for parlay's sake. We're going to make sure that every leg that we put in a parlay at the end of this show are plus EV legs. The name of the game is to bet plus EV bets, whether that's a parlay, whether that's a straight, whatever it is, whether that's prop, your bets must be plus EV. That means they must have a positive expected value. That means the likelihood of them happening must be more than the implied probability behind the odds suggests, right? So I ain't going to go into a rant behind implied probability, but I am going to say that we ain't going to make parlays for parlay's sake. If there's no parlays, if there's no parlay legs for a fight, I ain't going to make one up, right? I'm just going to pass on that fight. So we'll go through every single fight from the bottom, first fight of the night to the last fight of the night. And then we will write down every single fight, every parlay leg that we could potentially bet. And at the end of the show, we're going to do a quick thing. We're going to scan through all of the legs that we have got out. And what we're going to do is chuck them in a couple of parlays and bet them. And the stream's going to be done. So that's basically how it's going to be, guys. One disclaimer I will say, even though I've already explained the importance of placing positive EV bets, whether they're parlays or not. One disclaimer that I do want to say is that betting these type of parlays are not conducive to long-term profit in terms of betting optimally. I'm not saying that you cannot be long-term profitable on parlays. I am, right? But betting the types of parlays that we're going to be betting here, they may be 3, 4, 5 legs. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just going to bet on however I feel at the time. That's not conducive to earning as much money as possible from sports betting. The way you do that is by strategically placing your bets week to week, mainly betting singles, every now and then chucking in a parlay, but not massive 6, 7 legs. And it's not because 6, 7 legs parlays cannot be profitable, right? The reason we don't often bet 6, 7 leg parlays is because it's very hard to find 6 or 7 plus EV legs and put them in a parlay and ride out all the variance associated with every single individual leg to then be long-term profitable. So I hope you understand when I say that, right? It's not that 6 and 7 leg parlays are not plus EV. They can be plus EV as long as every individual leg is plus EV. By definition, the parlay is plus EV. It doesn't change because it's a 7 leg parlay. But what does change is the volatility that you have to go through to ride out that plus EV and to see that plus EV. Because 7 legs is so many legs, so many things can go wrong in the name of variance between those 7 legs. Whereas if you bet a single, that's only one bet that you have to ride out that variance on, right? So that's why it can be very hard to become profitable on big 6, 7 leg parlays, because you have to ride out so many variants, so a big amount of variance to eventually become profitable. Even if technically, mathematically, you are betting profitable legs, you may never see that, right? Your bankroll might be gone by then. So that's the main reason that these big parlays are not profitable. And also, most people are shit and they can't bet 6 or 7 legs anyway, right? It's very hard to pick out, even on one card, 6 or 7 legs throughout the entire fight, because we're making parlays on each single card, right? And what that means is that we have to find many legs on an entire fight card that are plus EV, which is not easy. The bookies rarely get it so wrong as to where you can find so many massive prop bets on every single card. That is what we're trying to do in this segment, right? So that's another reason why these long parlays are very hard, right? Because it's just hard to find that many plus EV bets in general. Whereas if you're only picking 1 or 2 legs, it's much easier to find 1 or 2 plus EV legs because you have to force less. Your reads are stronger. You might only have a strong read on 2 fights. But then if you're trying to make a 7-leg parlay, well, then you're trying to make a 5 legs that you don't have a good read on because you only have a good read on 2 fights, right? So I just wanted to put that disclaimer in first, boys. I ain't going to do that every single episode. I'm going to keep it more concise, but it's the first ever episode of this. So I really, really wanted to hammer home the point that what I just mentioned in this video. Now, without further ado, let's get into the actual thing, man. let's get into every single fight of the night and try and make some money. I'm going to share my screen so you can see exactly what's going on. And this will be a little bit better, boys, because then you don't have to see me chopping so much, right? So the first fight of the night, Felipe Bunes versus Joshua Van. First, I want to shout out every motherfucker in here, right? DXJ, let's start the year off right. Let's fucking go. Bang, 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 bang. We got a machine gun going on. Where's the Kiwi horse guy? I'm here, brother. Phil Hawes. We're going to get to that, man. Bang, bang. 20 unit this Saturday. Who's ready? You already know. Click, click, boom. Where we at? Shout out to every man in there. We'll get straight into it. So someone's saying, interested if you have any thoughts on the order of the odds in your parlays. For example, I tend to try and end my parlays with a longer odd shot there, like taking a plus 150 into a plus. All right, we'll get into all of that, brother. I got burnt too many times having big odds as the first leg. Yeah, I feel what you're saying, because then you can hedge out a little bit better. But we ain't going into these parlays to hedge out. So I ain't really thinking that far ahead. We're making these parlays to actually cash. Big Lou in the building, you already know. Dixon Cider. Yeah, man, there's a lot of people in here, right? So hit the like button, as my man said. Chris Curiosity, please hit the like button. Johnny Walker, round one. Is that going to go in a parlay, boys? Or are we just going to have to play that one straight because it's already parlay money, right? Anyway, boys, first fight of the night, Felipe Bunes versus Joshua Van. What I'm going to do at the exact same time is bring up fightodds.io for you. We're going to bring down the odds here. Boys, on a Mac, how do I zoom in? Like straight up. With the keyboard. How do I zoom in? It's probably Command and plus. Bang, bang. Don't worry. You know your boy's competent. I got it myself. All right, here we go. So Joshua Van's currently a minus 250 favorite. Felipe Bunes coming in at plus 210. All right, so look, let's see some prop bets for this fight. What do you guys like for this fight? Give me some ideas. There's a few different ways we can look at this. Obviously, Bunes has got the chance to land a submission, right? Because, I mean, the guy seems decent on the ground, but it's plus 350, plus 400. I mean, I kind of think Van's gonna get him. People are saying Van 2-3. Guys, I kind of like Van 2-3, you know, I can't lie. I may have locked something like that in myself earlier today, you know. Van wins in round 2 and round 3. Where is that, boys? Is that even on fight odds? Fight odds don't fuck me on the first fight of the night. Fight odds done me on the first fight of the night, boys. So I guess it's not on fight odds. Why is Van wins in round 1 or 2 there, but then it ain't in, then we ain't got Van 2-3? We might have to just go with Van KO. Is he really going to sub him? All right, Van KO is plus 210. We're going to write that down now on our online notepad, right? Van KO plus 210. Fight of the night. And I'm actually conscious of time, so I'm going to try and come through. Another one, Van round 2-3. What is Van round 2-3, boys? Let me have a look. I'm going to have to log into another bookmaker here. Does anyone know? As if that market ain't even out yet. Jesus. So Van 2 round 3. I mean, that should be a leg that we can hit, man. Like, that's not a crazy leg. Like, that's offered on more than enough bookies that I feel happy giving it out. That's how we hit my last parlay as well. My last Lambo parlay with Narco. I hit that round 2, round 3, I believe. Mohamed Mokaev. Not out yet for the prelims. Boys, they fucking us. It's like 24 hours till fight time, man. 48 hours, whatever. Call me a liar for 24. Anyway, boys, we're going to pass on that. We're going to stick with Van KO. It's cool, man. It's cool. Just cool now. You know what? We're going to do Van round 2. Just like a little crazy thing. Because, you know, just going to be a little bit crazy there. Because it is something that I don't mind, right? I don't mind Van round 2. Bunes submission. We'll put Bunes sub at plus 250. I mean, plus 350. We've seen Van sub before. It could happen, boys. We'll keep that, right? Van could club and sub. I know, brother, but I mean, what? We're going to do inside the distance? I don't like the value on that. I can't bet every prop. We can't bet everything. We have to pick. So I'm going to go with a KO, brother. Anything could happen, you know, but we got to make decisions here. So that's one of my decisions I'm making. All right, next fight of the night. And I'm trying to fly through these because we're going to have to save some time. Because at the end, we need to put these parlays together, all right? So Tom Nolan versus Nicolas Motta. What are we thinking there, boys? Give me some ideas. Give me some ideas. So for me, I hate Nicolas Motta in the UFC. What has the guy showed me that I can confidently back him? First round KO? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Nolan KO is minus 188, though. I mean, is that great? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that great? I mean, what we'll do, we'll write Nolan KO 1 because someone said that, and I'm saying Nolan KO. Nolan KO round 1 is plus 105. It's all right. It's all right. Does it happen 50% of the time or more? I mean, I can see it. I can maybe see it. I can push it. I don't think the leg is Nolan KO 1 plus minus EV. I don't know, man. It's tough to say. I'm gonna leave it there because that's one that we're considering. Nolan KO in general minus 188. Honestly, boys, Nolan KO might just be better than Nolan KO 1. I know it sounds crazy, but what, you don't think Nolan KO is 65%? If so, there's marginal value. Like Nolan KO, does he KO him 6.5 out of 10? I mean, I don't know, man. Like it's potential. Anyway, we're gonna leave that there. Also, what we're gonna be doing is adding Motta KO 1 because that's most certainly a potential for him. I don't like the KO at plus 300. I feel like the money line should be around plus 300. I honestly do. So let's check the KO 1. Where are we at now? Nolan KO 1. No, Motta KO 1. Motta wins in round 1 is plus 600. Motta KO 1, 800. We'll take that. That could be a big one. Motta KO 1 is plus plus 800. All right. So with a Nolan KO 1 plus 105, Nolan KO minus 188, which I kind of think is actually better. And then Motta KO 1 plus 800. We don't need that. All right, next fight of the night, boys. Westin versus Gene Silva. Jesus Christ, boys. What are we going to do with this one? What are we going to do with this one, man? This is a bit of a shit fight, man. Like, the thing about this fight is that I don't give a shit about it. So I don't really know much about it. I didn't spend long taping this. Guys, are we really going to put a minus 350? I can't, right? Honestly, I feel like over 1.5 is the value side for sure. I feel like over 1.5 is the value side here. Like, Gene Silva is not Johannes and Brito. I know that for a fact. Silva inside the distance, minus 800. What? What's GTD? Wait, should we just go nuts? What's GTD? Plus 700. I honestly see value on GTD and plus 250. I honestly see value on them, guys. I think there is marginal value on those. I'm going to write that down. That's what I see value on. I have to. Wilson, GTD plus, what is it? Plus 900? 800? Wilson, GTD plus 700. And then Wilson over 1.5 plus 250. Now, I know my man Fubu's saying he's been round 1 fuck multiple times. We ain't definitely going to bet these. What we're going to do is put the potential, we're going to put the plus EV props here. And then at the end, we're going to decide if we want to put them in, right? We're not actually definitely going to bet everything we write down now. This is kind of our brainstorming. We've got the whiteboard. We're just brainstorming the legs that we like. We ain't actually going to bet them yet. We're going to wait. I'm going to write and instead because I got OCD and this is fucking me up. Because minus and plus is referring to money lines or referring to odds. So I can't be separating them. Feel me? All right, boys. Next fight of the night. Farid Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. This is a banger. I could see Basharat coming out there, taking him down a couple times, getting the submission. But Taylor Lapilus, I mean, the guy is a bit underrated in this spot. You know the thing about this fight, guys, and, you know, as we go on, I'm going to break down each fight a little bit and give you, like, my overall thoughts. I feel like the Basharat brothers have hype on them. I think that's undoubtable. So I feel like every single fight they're in, the lines are a little bit wider than they should be. Not every single fight. I've bet on them before, right? So obviously I didn't think it then. But, like, a lot of fights that they're in, I feel like the lines are a little bit inflated. So if we're going to get an edge, we're probably going to get an edge on the Lapilus side. I mean, we've got the boys in the chat saying Lapilus decision. I bet Lapilus straight. Taylor money 9. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it seems like we're going to get the... what are we saying? It seems like we're going to get the value on the Lapilus side just because the money line, I feel like, is based on hype for Basharat. I do still think Basharat should be the favorite, and I think he wins the fight. But it might be a little bit wide. So in that regard, we look to the Lapilus props, right? Or even Lapilus money line. I mean, we're talking about plus 105, which I ain't going to be betting that, man, boys. I don't like that. We're talking about plus 105 and Nolan KO1. You know what? I'm just going to delete that now, you know. I'm not feeling that, you know. I'll take Nolan minus 188. But we're talking about Nolan minus 188, right? Because we're putting plus EV legs in. They don't all have to be massive props. But we'll put Lapilus money line in because it's blown out now, boys. 250 is it's getting too much, man. Lapilus money line plus 240. All right, we'll take it plus 240. I'm doing all bet online odds if you already don't know. If you haven't seen, I'm doing all bet online odds, which is actually better for you because the odds for the most time in bet online are sharper than others. So what that means is that if you just shop around, you probably get way better odds than me. So, but not in this case because Lapilus is best price at this book. Lapilus points handicap, that's one there as well. I ain't going to be doing that because, like, it's not widely available. We'll go with, like, a little bit more widely available. I think they're a very new thing. They're, like, very, very new. I mean, I'm talking last 2 years or so. So, what else we got? Basharat inside the distance. I don't like it. It's the same price as Lapilus money line. You're just getting way more meat on the bone with Lapilus money line. Lapilus inside the distance ain't the worst of all time. I know someone said decision earlier, but I don't know, man. Like, what have I seen Fareed go through storms and stuff? I don't know, man. I don't really like Lapilus decision. I honestly don't. I think Lapilus inside the distance at 650 is better. Basharat decision is horrible. What's Basharat submission? All right, Basharat submission plus 400. That's not bad. I'm gonna put Basharat submission in there as well. Basharat sub. I mean, you got to think he gets takedowns here. You got to kind of think he has his way on the ground at points. And although Lapilus has never been submitted before, we chuck it in. That's something that we're going to look at. What else we got going here, boys? Next fight of the night, Marcus McGhee versus Gaston Bolanos. Another big underdog. You know what? I might just do the exact same thing. I might go Bolanos money line and McGhee sub. I might do the exact same thing as the Lapilus fight. The reason is because I feel like there's hype on McGhee. So I feel like that's the reason that, you know, we're getting the money line for the most part. But then I also think Basharat can sub him. So we'll see the prices anyway. So Bolanos money line is plus 184. It's dropped down a little bit now, so the market didn't agree with that. And then McGhee submission, what are we saying? McGhee submission plus 225. I don't really like it, man. It's the same price as McGhee TKO, which line mover likes, and yeah, I'm feeling that as well. I feel like submission and TKO are kind of like the same, and that's what they've got in price. That's so are we really getting an edge there? If anything, I'd like to do Bolanos decision or something like that. But you know what? I think I'm going to pass on this fight, you know, boys. I don't really see much value there. I mean, yeah, I'm not feeling it, you know. I'm going to pass on that one, boys. The next fight of the night, Matthew Semelsberger versus Preston Parsons. So, like, Matthew Semelsberger KO or decision, or Parsons submission or decision. Surely that's the way it's going to go, right? So then what we do, we look at those props. Obviously, Semelsberger can crack him, can knock him out, or he could just try crack him, but then win a decision. And then on the other hand, I feel like Parsons can sub him, but I also feel like Parsons can win a decision. I feel like they're both like more than likely to win a decision. So we got 5 goes the distance, which is plus 145 now. It was massive, massive the other day. Fight goes the distance as plus 150. I don't mind that. Because I feel like both guys are very, very tough. But I also feel like it's going to be a bit of a car crash. So it's weird. It's like car crash, but toughness. I always struggle with those. It's like you're betting on a car crash because the guys are tough, which is not really the way to bet overs. But they do hit a lot when both guys are really tough. Or then sometimes, you know, it's a car crash, so the fight finishes. So it's a weird one. But I mean, the GTD at plus money, I feel like if it gets into the second round, it probably goes to the decision. What else we got here? Parsons decision plus 400. Semi-decision, which I said, plus 350. Oh, no, 325 and then plus 250 or plus, yeah, whatever it is. We'll check that if we want to take it. And then Semelsberger KO, plus 155. That's shit. And Parsons submission, plus 350. But I did really like the way that Semelsberger was able to kind of easily fought off the attempts of AJ Fletcher with a submission. So I don't know, man. This is a tough one for me for value as well, boys. And like I said, this stream is to get value. This stream ain't to just fuck around and, you know. Boys, I'm struggling with this one, you know. Parsons' decision at 325 is decent, I think. Because I don't rate his finishing ability that much, and I kind of rate Semelsberger's... Like, I rate Semelsberger's ability to stay out of a submission more than I rate Parsons' ability to stay out of a... What's it called? Knockout. Even though Semi is not really a big finisher, he's a big hitter. So, like, at that point, it just seems like Semi could knock him out. So, I like Parsons' decision at plus 325. I like the Ghoster decision at plus 150. I think both of them have a bit of value. More so the Parsons decision, though. We'll write Parsons decision at 325. I feel like that's nice. And like I said, boys, it's plus 400 in other places. So, Parsons decision at plus 325, that's decent for me, man. And what is Semelsberger finish? Or Semelsberger round? Yeah, Semelsberger KO is horrible, isn't it? What about Semelsberger KO 1? 375. That's not enough. If it was KO, I'm taking it. But decision, I'll stick with that, boys. I'll stick with that. Like, I do want to give Semelsberger, like, I do want to bet Semelsberger prop or something, but I don't see it. I just don't really see any leg that I like here. So, other than Parsons' decision, I do actually think that's decent. The next fight, Waldo versus Andre Arlovski. Boys, I think Waldo's going to knock him out, you know. I really, really do. I got a big feeling that he just knocks him out in like round 1 or some shit. Under 1.5 plus 110. But what are we getting for Arlovski? Nothing there. Like, I don't like it. Arlovski ain't going to finish him probably in under 1 round. So it's literally playing like Waldo KO 1 for the most part and a bit of 2, I guess, because Mays knocked him out. Arlovski TKO plus 1,000. Hilarious. Costa KO minus 180. I don't like it. What else we got? I don't like it for this stream anyway. I'm not saying it's the worst of all time, but I don't like it. Cortes-Acosta round 1 plus 200. I feel like if he just goes for it, he can easily knock him out in round 1. I think it's so easy, but I just don't really know because, you know, Arlovski will do his thing on the outside a little bit. You know that. Anyway, boys, I'm going to play the round 1 200. It's not bad, you know. KO round 1 240. Let me just take that, man. Just make it. But you know what? Arlovski, man, he gives up that neck, doesn't he? You know what? Waldo Acosta, KO 1 at plus 240. Or just round 1 at plus 200. I'll go with round 1. I mean, plus 200 is quite big just for a club and sub. So, yeah, we'll leave it. Round 1 plus 200. They're heavyweights. How many heavyweight fights end in knockout in round 1? So many. Andre Arlovski got finished by Mays in round 2, finished by Delima in round 1. Most of his other finishing losses in round 1. Waldo just got a round 1 knockout. Waldo has got good boxing. And I feel like the reason Arlovski has won some fights recently is because he had better boxing than his opponents or on par. But I actually think Waldo has better boxing than Arlovski. So it's one of them ones where the athleticism and durability can easily get Waldo a KO1 here. I just don't know whether he's going to do it because I don't really rate him as a fighter. It's one of them ones, you know, like the path's there. It's easy to do it. But because I don't rate him as a fighter, I don't really want to get behind it. But I do actually think there's a little bit of meat on the bone at plus 200. So we'll keep it there. I may end up betting that myself, boys, for like a half a unit or something to win a unit. I honestly will because, yeah, we'll see, man. I might just bet that as a straight or the KO one. We'll see. Phil Hawes versus Bruno Ferreira. Where's the plus EV side on this one, boys? Well, first of all, we're going to look at KO1 for both guys. Because more than likely, someone's getting knocked out early. And then we're going to go contrarian. We're going to look at the overs. Because I feel like if they don't knock out early, I know both guys have potential chin issues. Anyone can get knocked out at any point. But I don't know, man. We'll see it. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. So, Ferreira decision 950. I feel like Hawes will win a decision if it goes there, though, man. He's just a way better fighter. Hawes KO is plus 185. So is KO 1. What's that? Hawes round 1, 300. All right, boys, I don't mind that, you know. Hawes KO 1 plus 500. Yeah? Let me do this now. Hawes KO 1 plus 500. I believe that's a plus EV leg right there, right? We'll look at Ferreira KO 1. Ferreira KO 1 plus 250. God damn. Is that a plus EV leg? I feel like it might be, you know. Ferreira KO 1 plus 250. I can't like. I have to call it how I see it, boys. I kind of feel like they both are plus EV. And then the GTD is what? What are we saying? The GTD is because I wouldn't play that over 1.5 if not the GTD, you know. GTD plus 500. Boys, I don't know, man. You know what? I'm not gonna go too heavy. I don't really want to go like 5 legs in one. I'm just gonna leave Hawes KO 1 and Ferreira KO 1. I honestly think both of them are plus EV. So I call it how I see it, man. Both fighters can get knocked out. Both fighters will try and knock out. Done. Ricky Simon versus Mario Bautista. This is a good fight. I tend to think this one goes to decision with either fighter in the potential for winning it. I feel like both fighters are very tough to finish. I mean, even against Yadong Song, you saw Ricky Simon was tough to finish there. So let's look at the GTDs. Let's look at the decision props. Fight goes the distance is minus 150. I feel like it should be minus 200, you know. I'm going to add that as a plus EV leg. Simone versus Mario, GTD minus 150. Well, let's look at the over. Let's look at the over because, I like to play the over rather than the GTD. Minus 185. All right, GTD. Should we just go with the over? I'm going to go with the over, boys. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, first of all, it gives me 2.5 minutes. But because after doing my data analysis, which I preach massively to everybody in the MMA betting community, I preach that I preach that you need to be looking through data, tracking everything, not only on betmma.tips, but also on your own spreadsheet. So you can edit it at any time. You have way more flexibility. It's not going to get closed down one day, right? And what you need to be doing is looking at your data for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it may be, 2 years, 5 years, like I do, and looking at where you was profitable, where you was negative, and how you can improve going forward. And, boys, I'm just quote tweeting this. Sorry about that. I'm tweeting out this. I'm tweeting out that we're live. I forgot to do it. Sorry about that. All right, back at it. So I always preach that you need to be very, very heavy on data analysis, right? It's the only way you'll improve because you don't know what you've done in the last 5 years, even though you think you do because your ego tells you that. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying me. And you and everyone has a big ego when it comes to gambling because gambling is very egotistical sport, if you want to call it that. And so what that means is that you think you're good at this bet. You think you might be good at that bet. But only data analysis will tell you the true picture. Because also, even if you don't have any ego, which you do, we all do, you may just forget. You probably got you probably a forgetful mind. You might be like my boy Mushroom or my boy MMA line mover and smoke way too much weed and then you forget shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Or even if you don't smoke weed, you might forget it. So what I did is that I don't just preach what I preach. I practice what I preach. The only way I can teach you these lessons is because I've been gambling for 15 years and I've got 8 years worth of track data that I can look back on, learn from, and teach you the lessons so you don't have to learn them yourself the hard way like I have done over 15 years. I practice what I preach, boys. So I actually did a live stream and showed you all my spreadsheet, 100% honesty and transparency, and saw the exact spreadsheet that I work with. So, like, I've shown you everything, right? I've shown everything. And what I did, long story, long rant short, is that I realized that over 2.5s were going to be more profitable for me than GTDs. And the reason for that is not only because they were more profitable slightly, but also because mentally, they're way easier to deal with if they lose. If I bet an over 2.5 rounds and it finishes in round 1, yeah, sweet, I deal with it. If I bet a GTD and it finishes in the second half of round 3, that shit destroys me, man. And some of the biggest part of the game that nobody tells you is the mental aspect of the game. Nobody speaks about this. Everyone's going to tell you who's going to win this weekend. People are going to tell you like, oh, this guy's going to win because his left hook is better than the other guy, right? Listen, the most important part of the game is the mental aspect of the game. Bar none, it is not even close. So I have identified that mentally betting over 2.5 rounds is way easier for me to consistently deal with on the mental aspect of things than it is betting GTDs and losing 1 in 10 or whatever I do. Even if I earn slightly more money, listen to this, Jewel, that all the veteran gamblers might go crazy at. Or these veteran gamblers, what I said, they're fake gamblers, man. They think they know the game, but they don't actually know the game because they just spout nonsense like parlays are not profitable and stupid shit like that. So, fuck them. But what they will also say is that, oh no, if something's more profitable, you need to do it. No, lack of experience, right? It's not about profit all the time. It's about mental fortitude. It's about cultivating a winning mindset. I'm telling you now, yeah, that even if you're less profitable betting over 2.5s than you are GTDs by a little bit, you may be better off betting the over 2.5 because mentally you're able to deal with the game better, which is going to bleed into every other area of your sports betting. It's going to enable you to chase less, to make you more disciplined, to work with to save your bankroll better. So you're employing bankroll management simply by betting over 2.5s instead of GTDs, even if you're losing out on a little bit of profit. Because we have to think of the knock-on effects to losing that 1 in 5 over 2.5s. Let me tell you now, when I've lost betting a GTD, when I could have won betting over 2.5, aka if it ends between 12.5 minutes to 15 minutes, right? If it ends in the last half of round 3, those times that's happened, which has happened like 1 in 5 times, right? Whatever it is, I don't know, I can't remember, I got the stats, right? Those times have mentally fucked me so bad that I could have potentially made worse decisions on my future bets simply down to that. So anyway, it's a long rant basically, guys, to try and help you, but also to say that I'm going to be putting the minus 185 over 2.5 there. Now, I will say I will give you the little caveat, which is that, forgot the word there, caveat, which is that if the difference is massive, I'll still play the GTD. I still play GTDs. You'll still see me play. I played a GTD this week, right? And the reason I did is because the line was way wider than over 2.5. So it's not like I'll never play a GTD, but it's always about the mental side of the game. All right, done. What's Bautista decision and what's Simone decision? Because they may be plus EV now. Bautista decision plus 350. Simone decision plus 140. I kind of think if Bautista wins, it probably will be inside the distance. But I don't really know. So I'm tempted to play the plus 350. I'm not so tempted by the plus 140. But I kind of love the minus 185. So I'm going to stick to the minus 185. All right, boys. What else we got? And we're flying through stuff now. We've got the main card. Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. This is a good fight. Damn. All right, where we at? Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. So what we got? Fight ends in a draw. Should we play that one, boys? Plus 66. What do we like in this one? I feel like Miller gets it done, you know. And I feel like he gets it done inside the distance. Would I play it? I don't know. Plus 150? He's minus 150 now. Plus 150? It's a decent difference. That's a decent difference, boys. That's a massive difference, to be honest. We're getting a 40% indication versus a 60% indication. So if anything, I take the plus 150. But what about Miller decision? No, sorry, Miller submission. 400, I don't like it. Miller TKO, I don't really like this, you know, boys. What's Gabe inside? Gabe inside the distance, 160. And Miller inside the distance, plus 150. The under 2.5 is still $2.10. No, it's not, bro. That's under 1.5. You meant under 1.5, right? Under 2.5 is minus 200. The under 1.5 ain't bad, to be honest. Like, I do kind of feel like it finishes. But I don't know, man. It seems like nothing's standing out for me, boys. Is there value on the under 1.5? I feel like it's going to be a car crash. I don't mind it. I feel like it probably does end in the first 1.5 rounds, maybe like 50% of the time. So I'm saying it should be plus 100. It's plus 110. Like it's a plus EV leg. All right, I'm going to do plus one. I'm going to do Miller under 1.5 at plus 110. So Mushroom saying that round one. Yes, I remember that. I remember you said that earlier. So hit me up at the end, please, for the Manel Kape thing, because I'll forget. I did see that in the chat somewhere up. Where we at? Oh, my man. I ain't been looking at the chat. Sorry. MMA Line Mover gave me, what, my third donation of all time or something? And it's a $5 one, so I appreciate that. You know what I'm going to do? Just for banter. I'm actually going to go sign into one of my bookies after this, and I'm going to place that $5 on every leg that we put in a degenerate parlay. I'm going to put them all in its own leg and bang $5 on that, courtesy of you, brother. So I appreciate that. I respect that you don't track unavailable lines. I see idiots tracking Khalil 200 like everyone can get that line. Wiz does one of the clowns. Oh, man, that's my boy right there. People just trying to boost stats on BetMMA. So I'll address this one. So I don't think there's anything wrong with tracking unavailable lines at all if you don't give out tips. If you're making content, giving out tips, and then you're giving out tips at like, you know, completely the odds that no one can get, then obviously, yeah, that's stupid, right? Like that's dumb. But if you're just tracking it for yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you have to track that. That's what you bet, right? So there's a distinction to be made, in my opinion, But then there's another distinction, which is that if they're tracking it on betmma.tips, because I know my man Pierce got cancelled recently because I think he was betting a lot of openers or lines that weren't widely available, and he was tracking those. And obviously Mike, as the head of the site, I would assume that he did it, closed down his account. Now, I don't think that he was doing anything wrong by tracking the lines that he gets. He's just doing it for his own personal record. But I will say that betmma.tips is not a tracking site. People don't understand it. It's a tipping site, right? So Mike didn't create it so everyone can track. Mike created it so you can tip lines. And it just so happens that it's got an amazing tracking feature built into it, right? Because that's how you tip. Because you tip before and then it tracks it automatically after. And it's the best site in the world by far for MMA, tipping, tracking, whatever you want to call it. But Mike didn't create a tracking site, right? So if people are tracking all of these lines that are not available, then it makes sense from his point of view that he would shut them down because it's not a tracking site. You're using it for tracking, but that's not what he created it for. So it's his decision what he does with it. It's his business, his website. He can do whatever the fuck we want, and we can't say anything about it, right? So there's many distinctions to be made, and that's my opinion on it, because I know a few people were saying it before. MMA Fight Club by Eric Stotch, Simon round 3. MMA Fight Club by Eric Stotch, again, MMA Fight Club. Stack the wins and the cash will come. What's Bautista inside the distance? No action. I don't know. Miller round 2 or sub. Miller round 2 KO. Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez under 1.5 rounds. I've added that, bro. I like it. Benitez decision. The only way I see Benitez winning the decision is like if he tees off on the leg a little bit and Miller gets scared of going in. And I just don't think he's going to do that. I don't think Miller is the type of guy to be scared off. I think he's kill or be killed. I think he gets finished or gets the finish here. Miller finished, but line isn't juicy. KO 1 on a 2.5. Jim Miller has 1 for the last 5,000. Yeah, so there's a few things here. Sorry, 1.5. Well said, James. Good point, but he sells picks, which is my problem with it. Yeah, I don't think Wiz sells picks. Obviously, if he sells picks and he's tracking lines that no one can get it, then he shouldn't be doing that, right? It just goes without saying. He will know that as well, right? I haven't checked his record. I don't know if I don't think he sells picks though. Are you sure Wiz sells picks? I don't think so. Maybe now, I don't know, man. Esteban saying, bro, what about Mario Bautista by sub? Don't know, man. I ain't really seen Simone show that deficiency in the submissions, really. He's got a bad chin in some regard, in some fights. I don't know, man. Damon said, well said, James. Maybe Mike should split into 2 sites. But why? That's nothing to do with Mike, bro. That's what maybe you want, or like the market or the community wants. Mike don't give a shit, and neither should he. Mike's his own man. He created a site for what he wanted, and that's it. You can't say that he should split it. Like, someone else should make it. You know what I mean? The person who wants a tracking site only and not a tipping site should make it themselves then. It's not up to Mike, especially when there's a leaderboard. Yeah, true, leaderboard. Well, I don't know how that ties into this conversation. I've lost my train of thought. Costa sub. Yeah, he has paid picks. He does sell picks. Fair enough. Wiz Khalifa sells picks. What we got? My man John Kelly thinks Simon has more of a chance of a sub than Bautista. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Picks and blunts by a Wiz. Shout out to John Kelly. I ain't seen him in my stream before, but I know him well, so shout out to him. Everyone go and check out John. He does some DFS stuff over there. I know a lot of people are into DFS. I'm sure a lot of my audience are also into DFS. All right, boys, let's moving on now because we just went through every single comment. So moving on. We've already done this one, boys. All right, so we're just going to stick with Miller under 1.5, man. We'll chill with that one. So Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Kape. Now, I got a funny one for this because when they fought for their first time, I didn't have any big bets, but I had a very small prop shot that I thought had some value on it. Kape round 2 at plus 500, I bet last time. I think I bet at plus 400. And guess what happens now? I'm doing the exact same thing, boys. I'm giving you an actual free bet out yourselves, myself, I'm giving a free bet that I'm actually playing. Now, by the way, I will say, if you've got all the way to this point in the stream, I'm going to say something now. I've got tons of bets on this card, and watching this stream, you won't even know what my bets are. I ain't give out none of my bets on this stream, and I've made a very important point to do that. I ain't making a stream. I'm just going to give out every single bet I've had on this card. But we are picking out some plus EV legs, but I am maybe purposely leaving out some legs that I have had a bet on because I've already got a bet on them, right? So I ain't trying to put them in the parlays as well. Overexposure from me. And also, we're keeping that behind the paywall. I give out tons of free shit consistently for 5 years, boys. I also do have a paywall. If you want to support, if you want to make some real money, you can go and sign up at lucrativemmabetting.com or just click the link in my bio and get my official picks. But one of my official picks that I will give out is this one. Kape to win in round 2. He oftentimes takes some time to get going. And I do see a narrative that I've spoken to a few people. I watched a couple of live streams this week. And I've spoken to many, many people in the telegrams and in the DMs. A lot of people in this chat I speak to regularly in the DMs. And a few of them have told me Kape isn't leaving it to round 2, round 3 anymore. But I actually disagree with that. Kape's not the type of fighter just to go out there and go mad. He doesn't really ever do that. I still think Kape is being smart and calculated and doing what he has done throughout his entire career, including his rising career and his UFC career. I just believe that the shots are landing better. I believe that he's in a better headspace. I believe that he's on an upwards trajectory. I also believe that there was some adjustments being made from fighting and rising. I think a couple of the fights over there, maybe all of them, he had shoes on. And on top of that, he was fighting some good fighters when he came into the UFC. Alejandro Pantoja, right? So I actually disagree with the narrative that Kape's just going out there and steamrolling guys and that he's going to do that to Nicolau. I actually think round 1's going to be very competitive. O'Day Osborne fight round 1 was competitive as well. He didn't steam around him. Yeah, he won via knockout in round 1. That was a flying knee with like 10 seconds left. It was kind of random. So I definitely think Kape's going to win this fight. I think that the durability edge is kind of disgusting on the feet. And I tend to think that most of the fight plays out on the feet. Most of the last fight played out on the feet. Yes, Nicolau got takedowns, but most of the last fight played out on the feet. And I think most of this fight's going to play out on the feet. I just don't think Nicolau's going to survive like he did last fight. He almost got knocked out. I think he's going to get knocked out this time. Nothing has changed, really, from my capping last time to my capping this time. Except for, I do think that Nicolau's chin is maybe worse than I even imagined. He almost got knocked out by Kape, got dropped badly. Got knocked out by Royval, knocked out by Dustin Ortiz. Like, I don't think he reacts that well to getting hit. And I think Kape's on an upwards trajectory here. I think Kape's going to knock out Matheus Nicolau, but I think he's going to do it in round 2. So I don't even need to look at it. I know Kape round 2 is plus 500, unless I butchered the line. Sorry, boys. You know how that goes. And maybe it's dropped a little bit. But I still think it's plus 500. It's a prop bet. It probably won't change too much. I didn't play a big amount of money on it. Kape round 2 plus 550. Okay. Well, I don't even know if it is, but guys, I tip lines that are widely available. I tip lines that are worse than what you can get. Imagine that. All of the frauds in the MMA gambling scene and the sports betting scene, 99% of them tip lines that you cannot get. So their records are way higher than they actually are. Yes. Maybe their record says they won 200 units this year, but their clients won 90 units, 85 units. All is not what it seems because people tip lines that you cannot get. It's a disgusting practice. They know what they're doing. It's not hard to find out the lines that are widely available and not widely available. So I ain't one of them. I tip lines that are widely available. I take very big pride in that. And although it's not something visceral that you can see, I can show you that I won 141 units last year. And you can go, damn, that's unbelievable. I'm going to sign up to your service because I want to win tons of money. And you know you will based on my record last year and my last 5 years of record. But I can't really show you visceral evidence, like that is catchy, like a 141 units is, that I tip widely available lines. You have to go back, check all of my lines over the last 5 years and verify that for yourself, which will happen. But who's really going to do that? If someone sees me post 141 units won in 2023, they're going to be like, damn, what the fuck, amazing. It's going to get loads of retweets, loads of engagement, and people are going to sign up to me, right? But if I say, boys, I tip widely available lines, 1% of people are going to be like, damn, that's amazing, and really internalize it and sign up with me for that. But it should be the other way around, because as I said, numbers are fugazi. Tipping widely available lines is real integral thing that cannot be faked. But numbers can be faked by tipping those fake lines, as I've said. So a little bit of a rant, boys. It's kind of annoying that the sports betting industry is completely backwards and people get hyped up over fake numbers versus actual integrity. But it's cool, man. We can do both. Well, I ain't going to give the fake numbers, but we can do both in terms of I can give the big numbers because that's what we got. With widely available lines, believe you me, I earned more than 141 units last year. And believe you me, a lot of my clients did as well. So we can give the big bet slips. We can do all of that shit. But also, what we will do is still maintain our integrity and tip widely available lines. So let's see if we can get any other, but boys, if it's going to, honestly, man, tipping widely available lines is going to get me less people that sign up. Less people that sign up, right? But it's going to help me sleep at night. Yeah, it's going to enable me to look in the mirror and understand that I'm doing a good job for the people that sign up with me and not faking it. So I'd take that over a bit of more money. I earn enough money from sports betting. I don't need to get a bit of more money from people signing up to my shit. Right? So, bang. Yeah. Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Kape. My man saying I tipped Aylin Perez at 170 when 130 was accessible, respect. And I'm going to keep doing stuff like that, boys, right? I'm going to tip the line that is fair, not the line that you can maybe get on 1 or 2 books only, or the lines that are like available for like 2 minutes. The worst one, and I'm going to stop it after this. This is the worst one. People tipping lines with $100 limits. Not widely available, but like, well, it's not widely available because they're only on a few books, but people will tip prop odds on Monday. People will tip prop odds on Monday. I'll wait till Friday, till Thursday to tip prop odds because the shit ain't available anywhere else other than Bet Online and maybe DraftKings or some bullshit. I ain't tipping lines that are available on one book on a Monday when there's no liquidity in the market. And even if my guys do have Bet Online, they can only bet $100 on it anyway before it moves. Insanity, boys. Insanity. I can't have respect for people like that. We move. We move. Where are we going? Where are we going? So let's see if there's any other. Let's see if there's anything else we can get on the Manel Kape versus Matheus Nicolau fight. So the goes to decision is -130, which is shit. Because I kind of think that it's going to finish. What else we got? Over 2.5 rounds, -125. Shit. Over 1.5 rounds, -260. All the overs are shit. All the unders, I don't think it's massive value. I like it, but I really think that Kape's going to knock him out, not the other way around. Nicolau could get a sub. What's Nicolau's sub for the fuck of it? 900. I don't know, man. I ain't doing it, man. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything last time out. My man's saying that I'm telling you Kape is taking that neck. And boys, sorry, man. I have to address this. Sweet Didi, I don't want to go at you. I don't want to call you stupid. I don't want to call you stupid, but I'm going to have to say this. I ain't tipping this. This is not my tipster service. You're watching a parlay stream where I'm literally giving you the bets out in front of your eyes from Bet Online. You can see it, right? I ain't going to betonline.com and seeing it. I'm showing you from Fight Odds. I ain't tipping this as a client to any of my clients. This is a parlay stream. Right? And on top of that, I'm using odds from Bet Online on purpose because they're the less juiciest odds because they're the sharpest book, right? So Bet Online has the worst odds in the industry. Now, not on every single bet. Maybe on this one, Phil Hawes, KO round 1. They have the best odds. But what do you want me to do? Find the worst odds on every line. Like, don't be stupid, right? And maybe you wasn't here at the start, right? So I'm using Bet Online for every single bet. Overall, that's going to actually pan out to be worse lines than you can get. Maybe on 1 or 2 they have the best lines, of course. But overall, it's the worst lines, right? So, yeah. Sweet Didi is saying, I was just saying, I know you're not calling me it since you've said that now, right? But it implies it. It's not just what you say, it's what it implies. And you already know how to address it. Can't just say it and then I'm just like, oh yeah, cool. I'm just explaining, right? And just because I'm fired up and that, don't worry, man. I'm just having a bit of fun. I ain't mad. I'm just talking. It's not a big deal. If you don't know me, you might not know that when I speak loud, it don't mean much, bro. I'm chilling. I'm just having a bit of fun with it. But yeah, going forward, all lines will be Bet Online, guys. So my man MMA Line Mover is saying that I'm telling you, Kape is taking that neck. I don't know, man. What's Kape's submission plus 1400? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Smoke a joint, bro. Brother, if I smoke a joint, I ain't going to be doing none of this. No streams, no winning on gambling, nothing, nothing. My man's saying he just joined us, exactly what he's talking about. Didn't know he was doing all about. It's all good. And that's why I'm explaining it to you, bro. It's all good. Kape not subbing Nicolau. Like, the club and sub is possible. The club and sub is possible, but boys, I might just, you know what? I'm going to add Kape TKO because I kind of think it can happen at any point, and I honestly do think plus 150 is all right. 40% indication. He almost did it in the first fight. I don't know, man. Kape TKO plus 150. I'll write it. All right, and we're on the main event of the evening, boys. Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. This is disgusting. I hate this fight. I don't really know what to do with it. Magomed submission. Johnny Walker knockout. Johnny round 1. I think I'm going to pass on this one, boys. What's the over 1.5? Oh, that's not very good. Boys, I think I'm going to pass, you know. Is there anything that I should put in, boys? Because if not, I'm just going to pass. You reckon Walker KO just like 650 or something? I'm not going to force it, boys. All right, so listen, done. Now, what we're going to do is create parlays, right? So I ain't going to do it like Blunt Force said. I ain't going to do it like, yeah, Johnny Walker KO 1 was a bit bonkers. Yeah, I guess so. I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to do a tier system. Oh, should I do a tier system? I can't be bothered to do that. It's just long. It's extra work. Fuck all of that, man. Actually, no, we will do a tier system. Actually, no, we won't, man. I can't be bothered, boys. I've been going for an hour. I literally can't be bothered. I'm just going to do what I feel. So I think as the show progresses, week to week to week to week, I think what we're going to do is we will create a tier system. We'll create a type of system that we do. Maybe the first fight of the night, we do the bet for, or whatever it may be, right? But for this one, I'm just going to kind of go YOLO, right? So first of all, we'll take Van KO 1, right? Van KO 1. We've got that at plus 210. Sorry, not KO 1, just KO, right? So we've got Van KO. So this is going to be our first parlay, boys, right? Parlay 1. So we'll take Van KO. And what should we put? Bro, I can't even do underline. Van KO. What should we put that in with? Wilson GTD, Wilson over 1.5. Don't really like them too much. Might not even put them in. Lapilus moneyline, decent. Basher at sub, decent. Parsons decision. I feel like Van KO and Parsons decision go well together. If I got any other KOs, well, I do have Nolan KO, but that's not going to add enough juice. I kind of need to bang. I could add Nolan KO and then add Mario over 2.5. What's that? Let's do that one. So Mario over 2.5. Have I got odds calculator on this phone? Or do I need my other burner phone? I've got about 18 phones, boys. No, I don't have odds calculator. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go to odds calculator here. Odds calculator, parlay, let's see it. We need a multi-calculator, right? So let's do it, right? Bet amount, we'll just do one. Don't matter. What? One. Why don't I put one in? All right, so bet one in the parlay is plus 210. Right? Bet two in the parlay is minus 188. Nolan KO. Minus 188. And then bet three in the parlay is Mario versus Simon over 2.5 at minus 185. So altogether, we get plus 632 odds. We'll do that. We'll take that, boys. 3-leg parlay at plus, what did they say? Plus 632. We'll keep that, all right? Now, we won't use these legs again. Once we've used the legs, we won't use them again. What else we got? All right, we'll remove that now. Unless we really love something, we can kind of boost up some other parlays. Parlay 2. Motta KO 1. Are we really doing it? Wilson GTD and Motta KO 1. How's that for a laugh? Parsons decision. We'll take Parsons decision and we'll bang it with Waldo Acosta round 1. Bang. What's that? So parlay 2 is Parsons decision. Bro, how can I add the leg, man? Add the Ras Clark leg, bruv. Bruv, are you dumb? That thing. Can't even add the leg, bruv. You bastards. Boys, I'm getting fucked. Parlay legs. Parlay calculator. Action Network, you piece of shit. Wait, what if I do this? All right, there, I've done it smart. But why do I reset? It goes back to none. These lot are stupid, man. I don't want 3 legs, bro. This is a 2-legger. Imagine you're not allowed to have 2. Oh, you know what? I think I can just... All right, don't worry, boys. We worked it out, man. We worked it out. All right, so the first leg is plus 325, right? Stupid website, man. And then the second leg is plus 200. That's a bit juicy. That's something that Mushroom likes. My man's saying he can't parlay that on BetOnline. All right, well, get another book then. To be honest, that's right. I'll stop using BetOnline lines then. But at the end of the day, bruv, BetOnline don't allow any parlays, really. They only let you parlay totals or money lines. And I ain't going to fucking stick to that with a show. That's boring. So I'll choose another book next time. But at the end of the day, it's the exact same thing because the BetOnline lines are shitter anyway, right? So just do it on another book. You get better price anyway. So I probably should use BetOnline lines just as easier. But just for the sake of someone saying that in the future, I'll use not BetOnline lines. Like, and I'm not talking to you right now, but like, I can imagine people like, no, you can't parlay that on BetOnline. So, you know, why are you using lines from BetOnline? That don't really make sense, bro. I ain't talking about you at all. I'm talking about the people I can imagine saying that and thinking that. But for the sake of those people just not even commenting, I ain't going to do that. All right, boys, plus 1175. Easy money. Easy money. Boys, this should be like minus 110, man. This is a pick'em. 2-leg parlay at plus 1175. Bang. Parlay number 3. How many should we make? We play one. Sounds good. It's all good. Bro, you know I ain't going at you, man. Just like the fella earlier, I weren't going at him. I'm just, you feel me? Just talking. I'm rolling a big fat one after that. After what, bro? Bet365 covers most aspects with middle off the road. Yeah, that's true. But I don't think they have Bet365 here, do they? No, man. See what I'm saying? I'm saying, boys, we got to make do with what we got to do. You know what I'm saying, boys? We can't be too picky. We just bang it up there. Like, it's all good. We're all grown men. We know that we can use another book outside of BetOnline. It's all good. It's all good. All right, listen. What else we got going on, boys? Hawes KO1 and Ferreira KO1. Can I just parlay them both? double KO or some shit. We'll go with Miller KO 1, and then we'll do some nutty ones at the end, right? And we'll do that with Kape KO. No, that's shit. We'll do that with Kape round 2, man. Miller KO 1 and Kape round 2. That'll be a nice one as well. So Miller KO 1 is plus 110. Sorry, Miller under 1.5 rounds is plus 110. And Kape to win in round 2 is plus 550. It returns plus 1265 odds. So 12 to 1 right there. It's decent. 2-leg parlay at 1265. 1265. Bang. What else we got? Parlay 4. I don't really like these Wilson legs. I kind of feel like I'm forcing it. The GTD seems a bit forced, to be honest, because I feel like he's going to get finished. The over 1.5, it sticks out a little bit. Because I do feel like Wilson's the type of guy to just randomly tap from random positions, as we've seen, or randomly like just get knocked out, right? So it's not like, what's the word? It's not like the first time you get, I know he's been finished in round 1 a few times, but I don't think he's a Hawes type where it's kind of round 1. I feel like he can just get finished at any point. What else we got? Lapilus money line. We'll parlay Lapilus money line. We'll bang that in with Hawes KO 1. I like it. I like it. Lapilus money line and Hawes KO 1. And boys, what might be smart is betting these odds like singularly as well. Just because hitting these parlays is fucking hard. But the single legs, I'm sure a couple of them will hit. Anyway, plus 240 and plus 500. I ain't advocating for that. It's just an idea. You do what you want. I ain't going to be doing it. But do what you want. I'm just saying, like, maybe we do. Boys, this is a big one. Plus 19, almost 20 to 1 odds. 2-leg parlay at plus 1940. Bang. All right, we're running out of legs now. Ferreira KO 1 at plus 250. Do you reckon I should just keep it to 5 parlays? And then like a nutty one at the end or some shit like that? Yeah, I'll do that. Ferreira KO 1. I know we're going against ourselves, but it's all right, boys. These are big odds, so we can afford to do it. Ferreira KO 1 and Wilson over 1.5. Or Motta KO 1. Plus 250 and plus 250 will be decent. Plus 250 and plus 250 equals 1125. 2-leg parlay at plus 1125. Bang. We like it. We like it. And all we have left now is Kape KO, Basharat sub, and Motta KO 1. Now, as I said, I wrote these down, but it doesn't mean I'm going to bet them. I think I'm going to leave these ones, you know, boys. I don't really love them. I mean, Motta KO 1 is decent, but then I don't really have much else to put in. I don't like it. Boys, what I will do is now do a bonus parlay. Bonus degen shit. But it ain't degenerate because we're saying that all these legs are plus EV anyway. We're going to take our favorite prop out of every parlay and bang it into a five-legger. I know my boy Mushroom's going to love this one. Our favorite prop out of this one, I mean, it's probably one of the minuses, right? Nolan KO or Mario over 2.5. I feel like Mario over 2.5 is kind of clean, you know. Keep that one in. But we're trying to go a bit degen. Fuck it, boys. Van KO, man. Stop being a pussy. Van KO plus 210. I ain't fucking about. The next one, Parsons decision plus 325. Let's get it. The next one, Miller under 1.5. It's more chances to hit. The next one, Lapilus moneyline or Hawes KO 1. I'm just going to go on a nutty one and just go Hawes KO 1. What's the next one? Ferreira KO 1 or Wilson over 1.5. Well, we can't do Ferreira KO 1 because we already done Hawes KO 1. So I guess we're doing Ferreira over 1.5. Boys, this is going to be nuts. I wonder if we ever even hit one of these. It's one of them ones where we might never even hit one, boys. And boys, please don't go too crazy if we don't hit one of these. I'm giving you 10 to 1 shots on every parlay, basically. It means that And these are 20 to 1, 12 to 1. It means overall average odds of here are like, what? I mean, it's going to be like 50 to 1, but take out this one. Average odds of these is going to be like 13 to 1. So it means that we need to play 13 to even hit 1. And we're only playing 5. We need another 2.5 streams to even break even. So just please relax if they don't hit, boys, right? It ain't like the Lambo Parlay show, Lambo Play show, my man Narco, where they're betting multiple props on each fight, right? They're obviously going to hit more. This, because I know this is the Lambo Parlays, you know what I'm saying? This is the Parlay madness. We might not hit on the level, we ain't going to hit on the level as that, right? So just understand that in your mind. I don't want people playing their whole bankroll in that. These are fun bets, but they're still all plus EV, so sweet. Plus 210 for Van KO, and then plus 325 for Parsons decision, plus 110 for Miller under 1.5, plus 500 for Hawes KO 1. This is going to be mad. And then plus 250 for Wilson over. This is one of the craziest parlays that has ever been created, boys. It comes out to, Jesus, get ready for this one, plus 58,000. $10 to win 5,800. Jesus Christ, Lord Almighty. 5-leg parlay at plus 58. That's a big one, boys. 580 to 1. 580 to 1. They think that if we play this 579 times, we ain't even going to win one. 579 times. So, boys, just be careful, yeah? Parlay 6. What, did we not even have? Oh, I guess bonus degen shit. What am I doing? I don't even remember writing that. Boys, that's the stream done, man. After we get off, I'm going to put $5 on this, courtesy of my man, MMA Line Mover. And then, yeah, I'm going to play some bets on these as well. I ain't going to have a lot on them, boys, but yeah. All right, that's it, man. Before I go, boys, please tell me how the stream went. Did you enjoy the stream? Was it not as exciting as you thought it would be? We didn't go over the fights in depth, so maybe you didn't like that. It was a lot of looking at odds. It was a lot of writing down, so maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. You know, as I was doing it, I was like, this is kind of fire, this stream. But in the back of my mind, I also thought, but we ain't really speaking about the fights. And most of the streams that I've ever done, it's just non-stop fight talk with a little bit of odds talk. This was like massively odds talk. So it's definitely very different, a different dynamic. Let me know your thoughts before I kick off. And that's it, man. I'm going to kick off. So what we got going on here? My man's rolling the big fat one. Shout out to you. You got a parlay. Benoit St. Denis, Mike Malott, Joe Pfeiffer, Bastrat, Tom Nolan. All of those guys just for plus 493. Feels like you should get higher odds for that, man. There needs to be an odd find of way more sites. Yeah, I agree. We will see guests on the Parlay Madness show. Yeah, I feel like we will, man. I feel like we will. I think it will be nice to have guests. I'm down for guests, man. I'm down for it. We'll see. Hit me up. If you want to be a guest, hit me up. You should see my bet slips. I wonder what that was in reference to. Is it because like you put a lot of money on it? Was it when I said don't put a lot of money, or like this was the biggest parlay ever or something? You probably got way bigger ones. Good fun, bro. Love it. Okay, good. Absolutely love the new show. I appreciate that. Hit the like, you bums. Yes. All the bums hit the likes. All the G's hit the likes. Everybody hit the likes. Ngannou and Poirier and Dricker's Parlay incoming stream was fire. I appreciate that. Stream was great. Thanks for the tips. Take it easy. Hit the like button. Enjoyed. Always like hearing your thought process for anything betting. Yeah, man. And one last thing. I've got a lot of bets this weekend, boys. We're going in hard for the first card of the year. If you want to sign up with my service, then I suggest you do it for this card because then you'll be locked in from the first card of the year. You don't want to see us cashing all of the bets for the first card of the year and then be super upset that you didn't cash the bets. You don't want that. Boys, I know the parlays look fun and stuff. That's not where we're going to make real money. We're going to make real, tangible, big bucks from betting week to week. Money lines, underdogs, favorites, parlays, but smarter parlays than just any plus EV leg. Parlays that have taken hours to craft together. So if you want to sign up, I would suggest signing up right now for the start of the UFC season. Kick off with a bang. Bang. And I'm out, boys. I'm going to catch you later. I'm a Lucrative MMA member. Let's get that money. Let's go, bro. Let's go, bro. You call this parlay crazy, and it is, but I played them a lot. Show was great. It's the first one you get into a groove, the more you do it. Exactly, bro. Parlay Bandit show. It's about to be a bit messy. Have fun and chat shit. Yeah. All right. Nice, man. Boys, I'll catch you a bit later. Bang.